Pre-reflection. I remember when I was a child, I would look up at the moon and say Muna. It's the perks of being bilingual. Luna in Spanish, moon in English. Muna. It makes sense. My mother would get me out of bed even if it was 4 in the morning, as long as there was a full moon in the sky, and to this day I can find comfort whenever I see her. Whenever I see my Muna in the sky. I was raised by the Sawtooth Mountains. I've been bathing in frozen lakes since before I reached adolescence. The world has opened up for me since I was a child. I have always known nature to be my friend, my companion, and my caregiver. I could sit and watch a campfire for hours, the same way I could sit by a river and find one current to fascinate me. I grew up going to outdoor camps, gardening with my peers, learning about bugs, getting my hands dirty, coming home with my clothes smelling of smoke and my hair caked with a weekend of hiking. I have always known that the night sky protects me, that the only right way to get away is to find a place with no cell service, a place where no star gets left out, covered by light pollution. Yes, I was raised by nature. By trees and oceans, sand and dirt. I have loved this earth and she has loved me from the time I was a child. This project became very difficult for me early on. I wasn't sure how to sit outside and journal about nature. I began writing poetry. Sometimes I would sit and forget to write, so I began taking videos. And suddenly I felt like I was reconnecting with an old friend. When quarantine was getting too much and I was tired, I could just drive around, go on a walk, sit in the grass, and listen. And the world would speak to me. It became an exercise in understanding myself, using nature as a grounding source for my heart. As I was breaking apart, she was healing me. And so here it is, my project. Reconnecting with an old friend, my term with Mother Nature, told through excerpts of poetry. Today, my father, who I haven't seen since July, told me I'm always welcome home, that he misses me, but that I should think about whether it's a good idea. I had to tell my sister, 13, the world is shutting down around me. It feels like a bad dream. 2 birds outside are having a conversation about the weather. It's so quiet outside that the chirp echoes across the valley. I think if 400 miles away I asked my mom to go outside, she'd be able to hear him anyways. A bird, singing for me. And not for me at all. When I try to sing back, I choke. Today I am drowning. Today I can't breathe. This morning, I woke up before the sun, just in time to make sure he had someone waiting to greet him. He painted the world, the hills, the trees, the smoke, and the fog. He painted the people golden, and I felt golden too. The world suddenly felt beautiful to me. This town that so often feels like a fist wrapped tightly around my middle opened up like a flower. Today, I woke up before the sun so that it could fill me up for the new day. And I am full. April 21st, 64 degrees, windy, warm, grass is dying. I watered the grass today. I got really sad seeing it die, seeing it slowly turning yellow. We pay for a front lawn, not for straw. This isn't a farm, this is a front yard. It's been so hot. I spent 5 minutes just showering the dead grass as if it would do anything. I saw the droplets cling to the yellow, reminding me of when I was little, and I would go to my friend's property on irrigation day, and we would go play in the orchard, letting our ankles dig into the water. Irrigation day. I think I've lived a very different life than most of my friends. It rained. Murphy's Law, I suppose. It rained hard and long, and now the grass is so green. It was raining so much that the men who work on our yard stopped coming. There's a jungle now. If we aren't careful, I think a jaguar could be hiding in our grass. I think I watered the grass, and the sky saw me and whispered, "Here, let me help." The grass is so green and so soft, When this rain lets up, I think I'll go sit in it, taunt the allergies. I know it'll itch, but it'll be so nice for the time that it doesn't. This grass is my child now. I cannot let her die. I feel like the trees are begging me to listen to them, and maybe it's the wind, or maybe it's both. The sun, when I close my eyes, turns the world red. Only red. But it's warm. Sometimes birds speak. They usually sound like they're just over the hill in a forest, but there isn't a hill, so they must be a street over. But when I close my eyes, it sounds like a forest. I'm kind of chilly, but the world is beautiful, and the trees keep whispering. Maybe they're talking to each other, not to me, but I like to think it's me. The sun ombres up. There are birds if I listen close enough, but they're far away. The trees, they're whispering again. They always do that. Today was nice for the first time in a while. I got to drive with my windows down. That was nice. The wind chills me a little now that the sun is going down. I want it to be summer. There's a park by my house I take my dog to when I want her to run off some steam. There's this enormous tree, and it's this entire ecosystem all on its own. I wonder if this is where the birds were. They're so loud, and there's so many of them. Once in a while, one chitters the same way a woodpecker pecks. My dog eats the grass. I have to yell at her to stop. The bees are starting to buzz some more and find ways out into the world. The fat ones hang in the sky like they don't know any better. They are so silly and they scare me so bad, but I want them to know I am safe. I will never bring harm to them. It's kind of windy. It's been kind of windy a lot. I'm not a fan of the wind unless it cuts the blazing heat of the sun, which is what it's doing today. The trees are whispering again. A little louder, more like a murmur, more like they're insistent on what they have to say. I've been going out and watering our grass every day, and I don't know if it's me or the rain that is helping it grow. There's a cat over the fence that taunts my dog. I'm trying to teach her that not all animals are food. She doesn't quite get it yet. I feel lucky to be able to just look out into the world and see the sun illuminating the hillside. I think I was meant to be some sort of safe place for nature. I didn't realize that until now, until recently. I've been considering weeding. I hate weeding, but I've considered that it may be time to just do that. One more adult thing. Adulthood has always felt so scary, and suddenly I feel ready. Is that all it is, stepping outside and trusting the process? Today is icky. I don't like the rain or the wind, and it doesn't make me feel motivated to do anything but sit inside and be a recluse, which is never ideal. The trees are like siblings, or cousins. One is far older than the other, but finished growing, and the other two, they stand as tall, but different types, and they stare at each other, and the older one teaches the other to weather the storms, of which we've had a few. And then there are the twins that stand in our yard as if they're trying to be one half of a larger tree. And then the sky. It does that thing where it is brilliance incarnate, and I realize for the first time that my favorite color isn't turquoise, but whatever this is. And then you realize the clouds are moving, and the ones I see today I won't see tomorrow or probably ever again, and the laundry inside can wait because the world is scary and things are horrible most times, but right now the sky is dancing for me and I am obligated to watch her. Sometimes you are the only person under a blanket of stars, and because you are the only person under the blanket of stars, you get the warmth all to yourself. It's the heaviest thing in the world, but the beating of your heart is strong enough to hold it up. Sometimes I sit outside and I just sing. Singing feels a lot more like magic when I do it outside. Sometimes I'll go to the science building and work on memorizing, and sometimes I meet friends, like the deer. My cousins in Chile have never seen a squirrel before, and so when they came to visit, they were absolutely fascinated. That's how I feel about the deer. They are spirits far older than me. When I'm out here, I remember how to breathe. Post-reflection. I think oftentimes I take nature for granted. It has been there since the moment I was born, and I have always known that it would take care of me, and so as this general, large, enormous being, I have always loved Mother Nature, and I have always known that she loved me. But this term sucked. This term, I was sad, and I was scared, and I was anxious, and every single time I just needed comfort, I could go outside and sit on my front porch and just listen. And the biggest thing I noticed is that the trees are always talking. They're always whispering. And that if I listened close enough, sometimes I could understand what they were saying. And I noticed that if you drive far enough, you'll always find an abandoned little road somewhere that'll take you to the next big adventure, and that sometimes it's okay to say, I don't want to do this homework assignment because I want to go to the lake and I want to go swim. And sometimes the rain sucks, and sometimes the rain is healing, and sometimes the world is scary, but always the world is beautiful. And I realize that nature is absolutely everything, and that I am so lucky to be a part of it. I realize that in the mornings when my dog wakes me up to take her outside, that is nature, or at night when my roommates and I are sitting in my room giggling about something ridiculous, that is nature. That ability to come together and be together and find our crew and understand that we have something special, that is nature. And this fight, this drive, the fact that I even got through this term while there was a pandemic happening, that is nature. Human spirit is nature, and Mother Nature wants us to survive, and we just have to be willing to do it on her behalf. I realized that nature is proud of me for making it this far, and that I'm going to keep on pushing for her. Thank you.